These days, it's really hard to get a keyboard on your phone. Even though a lot of people don't like the feeling of typing on a screen, they don't like having the keyboard cover half the screen, they don't like the fact that they're not getting a tactile feel, most phone companies have kind of put keyboarded phones off to the side and are only releasing them with kind of weak specs as an afterthought. Well, finally, we have a 4G LTE phone in the Droid 4 that has a good keyboard and good performance. Let's check it out. So as you can see, the Droid 4 here is not the thinnest or lightest phone on the market, but it's perfectly reasonable for your pocket. It's 0.5 inches thick, and it weighs a little over 6 ounces here. It has a nice selection of ports. As you can see, it's got micro USB and it has an HDMI out, and these allow it to connect to some of Motorola's accessories like its keyboard dock, where it runs the web top environment that lets you surf the web on a bigger screen. And you've got your buttons here for your volume and your simple power button. Not a lot of extra stuff. The screen here is a 4-inch QHD screen, which means it is 960 by 540, which makes it sharper than a lot of prior generation Droids, but not quite as sharp as the latest HD screens that you'll find on the Galaxy Nexus or HTC Resound. Still, this is actually the brightest screen that we've seen on a phone in a while, as it measured 505 lux on our light meter test. By comparison, competitors like the Galaxy Nexus were all in the 300 range, so that is really quite impressive. But what's actually most impressive about this phone is its keyboard. So if we slide it out here, you see that we have a full QWERTY keyboard. It's got 5 rows. You have a dedicated number row, and the keys do have a really good tactile feel to them. Now, we're of a split mind about how this keyboard compares to the Samsung Stratosphere's keyboard, with Stratosphere being the only other keyboarded phone on Verizon's LTE network. The Stratosphere has more space between its keys and has slightly better key placements, but this has better tactile feel. One thing that we love about this is that there's a dedicated tab key, so if you're filling out a form online, you can tab between the fields. And the one thing that we hate about this is that there's a caps lock key where the shift key should be, and so it's very easy to confuse shift and caps lock, and there's no point in having a caps lock key in 2012 anyway. But it is a very strong keyboard. Now, if you look at the back of the phone here for a sec, you'll see, in addition to the 8-megapixel camera, that the back panel does come off. You got to pry it off with a pry tool, but unfortunately, though you can replace the SIM card under here, you cannot pull out the battery. So the 1750 mAh battery in this is all you're ever going to have, and it gives you a decent battery life of 5 hours and 27 minutes. Not to the level of the Droid Razr Max, it's 8.5 hours, but competitive with things like the Resound and the Galaxy Nexus, which all have less endurance. So taking a quick look at the software and operating system here, we're looking at the home screens, which carry a number of neat widgets. Here's a gallery widget that shows your social feed's latest photo. Here's a social update widget that shows my latest update, and I can tap on it to do another update. Here's a list of my favorite contacts, and I can tap on these people and call them directly from here. And there's a number, and here's a look at my inbox directly from a widget. There are 5 home screens on here that are customizable. You can see that the icons, particularly things like the browser icon, have kind of a Motorola styling to them, which is, some people will love it and some people will think it's okay. It's not offensive. There's no special stuff here when you pull down the status update, the status bar here. No quick menu like you'll see on some other phones like Samsung phones. But if you go into the apps menu here, this is fairly simple as well. But there are a couple of apps that Motorola has included that are really quite awesome. In particular, we love the Smart Actions app. The Smart Actions app, what that does is it allows you to go in and create all kinds of custom rules or pre-scheduled activities for the phone. So for example, if you're doing a workout, you can fix this so that the moment that you plug your headphones in, it launches your music application. Or let's say you know that you don't want to get calls during meetings. Well, you can fix this so that anytime there's a calendar event or you're in a particular location, you can fix it so your phone is set to vibrate, but you can also fix it so your wife can still call you. There are a lot of potentially hundreds or thousands of applications for this, ways you can use it, and that's something that we really haven't seen coming with other phones. In addition, there's the Motocast app on here, and what that does is it allows you to stream music or photos from your PC, provided your PC is online. You can get them in this My Music app here if you want to listen to the music, and also this app allows you to go onto the Shoutcast internet radio station, start listening to stuff. The sound on this phone is really quite good and very loud. Certainly you could use it to listen to music, although it's a little tinny. It's great for doing speakerphone calls. Call quality has been amazing on this, and it's also actually really good for doing video calls, as we were able to successfully do a Google Talk with the front-facing camera and have it be smooth, which is awesome. That brings us, of course, to one of this phone's strongest features, which is its 4G LTE connectivity. We're able to easily get download speeds in upwards of 18 megabits per second and upload speeds around 11 or 12 megabit per second, well over 10. And so this is really good, better than a lot of people's home internet connections if you're in range of Verizon's 4G LTE network. So this is a really, really strong phone. For the current default price of $199, you get a lot. You get a great screen. You get an industry-leading keyboard. You get really blazing fast LTE speeds, and you get really smooth performance with a 1.2 gigahertz processor. We had absolutely no lag, no matter what we were doing, on whether we were playing a Madden game or surfing our email or surfing the web. This thing is really smooth. Now, of course, this isn't a perfect phone. The thing that we dislike the most is that the battery life at 5 hours and 27 minutes is not as high as we'd like, and there's no way to improve it unless you carry an external battery with you. However, for those who want a keyboard, this is absolutely your best choice right now, and even if you don't want a keyboard, it's certainly worth considering, and right up there in the mix with some of the leading super phones like the Resound and the Galaxy Nexus.